Welcome to the 2022 BKFC Year in Review. I'm your host, Cyrus Fees. When I joined the company this year at Knuckle Mania 2, little did I know it was going to be the biggest year in the history of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And the proof is in the numbers. 23 big events, 5 international and 18 domestic. Folks, it has been an incredible ride. And on this show, we are going to honor those incredible athletes that made it all happen. All the biggest moments of 2022, including your 2022 BKFC Fight of the Year. So before we get all the awards handed out, let's take a look at some of the best bouts from this year in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. You know, it was the famous cowboy Will Rogers that said, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. This year, we have had a host of huge debuts. And if you've ever heard from our founder, David Feldman, he loves to debut new stars here at BKFC. So from standouts from UFC and MMA, from Muay Thai legends, and beasts from across the pond, these are your nominees for BKFC Debut of the Year.
The nominees for BKFC Debut of the Year are Big Ben Rothwell, John the Magician Dotson, Chad Money Mendez, James Lights Out Lilly, Boo Cow.
And your winner for 2022 BKFC Debut of the Year is Big Ben Rothwell from BKFC in Monroe, Louisiana. And Ben, we're standing by here with the big man himself. Ben, how do you feel, man? You just picked up Debut of the Year.
Oh, it's awesome. Just found out. So pretty cool. I guess I couldn't have asked for it to go any better than that. So there we go. Ready for 2023.
Well, I know you are, man. You drew Bobo O'Bannon in your debut, first time ever inside the squared circle. Obviously, it's a brand new way of fighting, right? Like you've been in combat sports for a long time, but taking those gloves off, doing BKFC for the first time, just kind of tell us what the experience was like.
At first, I obviously didn't know for sure how my body was going to respond and my fists and everything. It's done with. I got in there, and I'm a fighter. It doesn't matter what the rules are. I'm gonna fight, and felt really good in there. Felt natural, and I'm excited for the next one.
Well, yeah, speaking of which, man, I know you're very hungry to get back in there. I mean, I remember doing the interview. You were ready to get back in there next event if you could. When you look forward and you look at some possibilities of guys you might be able to face inside of the squared circle, are there anybody that's coming to mind, any sort of names that you're kind of thinking of for your next appearance?
Tyson Fury all day, man.
Tyson Fury, that's what it is?
That's the money fight.
That's awesome.
I know somebody in the organization really wants that fight too. So yeah.
So there it is. Awesome. Laying it all here on the Year in Review. Rothwell Fury. That's what we're trying to make happen right now. That's what you want next.
You got it.
I love it. Well, man, hey, congratulations. Thank you so much, man. We're happy to have you here at BKFC, part of the BKFC family, and we can't wait to see what you bring in 2023. And I got to ask for it, man. After you just won that Debut of the Year, we got to hear the laugh. That's the money right there. Thanks, Ben. Well, as much as we love to see the rise of an undefeated fighter or to see an athlete decimate their opponent, you got to love the comeback. Whether it's a career that's been revitalized or a fighter at the brink of defeat, pulling off the impossible. Here's your nominees for 2022 BKFC Comeback of the Year.
The nominees for Comeback of the Year are Enrique Corson versus Rynell Riley, Kenny Lisea versus Noah Cutter, Mike Richmond versus Isaac Doolittle,
And to talk about the nominees and to talk about the winner of 2022 BKFC Comeback of the Year, I have the veteran voice of the BKFC, Sean Wheelock, been here since the beginning, and a good friend of mine, and it's awesome to be doing this together, and a couple of play-by-plays together on a broadcast is very weird.
We don't normally stand next to each other, Cyrus. This works out well.
It's very, very cool. Well, when you talk about comebacks, obviously you and Chris get to call those fights, you get to watch them, you get to tell that story. It's been incredible this year. We've had a lot of great nominees.
Yeah, my broadcast partner, Chris Lights Out Lytle, always talks about the fact on our BKFC broadcast that to be excellent as a fighter in combat sports, you not only have to learn how to be the hammer, you have to learn how to be the nail. Generally speaking, in BKFC, what we've seen through our first 5 years is the fighter who establishes his or her dominance early wins the fight. So it makes it extra special, Cyrus, when a fighter gets off of the canvas multiple times to come back to get the victory.
Well, there's been a lot of examples, but only one of them could take the victory, and this one was special as it is Enrique Corson over Rhino Riley. What an awesome bout. I just rewatched it again. Absolutely incredible what he was able to do on short notice against a formidable opponent in Riley.
July of this year, BKFC in Tampa, Florida. Enrique Corson, the first and to this part only Paraguayan in the history of bare knuckle fighting championship. He is literally dropped by the first punch landed and indeed thrown by the American Rhino Riley in this fight. Corson goes down again in round number 1, goes down in the early stages of round number 2. 3 consecutive knockdowns suffered by Enrique Corson against Rhino Riley. Corson comes back and knocks out Rhino Riley at the end of round number 3 to win this fight. It's the greatest comeback I have seen, not just this year, but in the history of bare knuckle fighting championship.
And that says a lot because you've seen a lot here at the BKFC. And congratulations to all the nominees, and we're going to hear from you a little bit later. Thanks, Sean. That was your 2022 Comeback of the Year.
Let's go!
Make sure to get your Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship merch at bareknuckleshop.com with a huge selection of sizes and styles for everyone. Knuckle up at bareknuckleshop.com.
Folks, one thing that we know how to do here at BKFC is make headlines. Those moments in the fight that go viral and the moments after the fight that go viral. Let's have a little bit of fun. These are your nominees for BKFC 2022 Wildest Moment of the Year.
The nominees for Wildest Moment of the Year are David Feldman crushing Jack Grady, the Lorenzo Hunt Joe Riggs tomato incident, Ty Emery's victory celebration, Tony Soto telling Josh Morales at weigh-ins that he'll f*** his dog.
After I knock you out, I'm gonna fuck your dog. Just so you know.
And the winner of 2022 BKFC Wildest Moment of the Year, well, of course, it's David Feldman jumping inside of the squared circle, taking things into his own hands, tackling Grady, making sure that all the chaos stopped. But that was truly insane. You never see a CEO or founder run inside of the fighting area and shut something down. That was crazy.
And, you know, you probably never should. But at the end of the day, it was a knee-jerk reaction. I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to this sport. I want everything to go right. And when something goes wrong, you know, sometimes I take it into my own hands. Not something I'm ultra proud of, but it's, you know, it's one of them moments that we can talk about for years to come.
And there was a lot of wild moments, but there was a lot of big moments here with the company. The biggest year in the company's history. And I think, you know, just opening up these new territories and going to Wembley Arena, we know how huge that is. And I was just thinking on how important of a venue that is. And for us to be there at this point in the history of the company, that really says something.
Well, I think being there is one thing, but putting on the hell of a show that we put on.
Without a doubt.
Having those great fights on that card, having the great enthusiastic crowd, singing Sweet Caroline. I mean, it was just an unbelievable moment there at Wembley Arena. It was I think a very pivotal moment in the company's, you know, history, because I really think that made people take us more seriously, that we had the guts really to go to an arena like that, our first shot in England, and to put on that kind of show.
And the advancement of the company, obviously, towards the middle of the year, earlier in the year, the announcement with Triller, that obviously says a lot as well, taking us to the next level. That had to be a big feather in your cap, obviously advancing this company with a company like Triller.
For sure. I mean, there's just so many things that happened this year that are incredible for the growth of BKFC, but really the growth of bare knuckle throughout the world has been tremendous. And having this partnership with Triller, with all the assets that they have and all the different companies that they have underneath that big umbrella that is Triller, it's just going to be amazing. And then, you know, they are going to be a public company here in January, and it's going to be great for everybody involved. So I'm just really looking forward to the future, to the partnership with Triller, and to all the things that are going to come about from that partnership with Triller.
You know, I joked about debuting fighters, how excited you are to make announcements. Every time we do our interviews at the event, I'm always looking for the next fighter. But obviously, some of these names that have come through, and you talk about Mike Perry being the epitome of being the best guy that could ever be in BKFC, what a BKFC fighter should be, right? But then a guy like John Dodson, and then a Ben Rothwell and Buakaw over in Thailand. Like, your mouth has to be watering to add more guys to this roster, but it's pretty cool getting all these guys under the banner.
Absolutely. You know, the cool thing about it is that they all want to fight for this company, and they all want to fight bare knuckle. They all want to be a part of BKFC. That's the really cool thing. But what I saw the other night when we did the show at the Hard Rock in Hollywood was that was a homegrown show, meaning that was BKFC fighters from the beginning to the end that we kind of groomed all the way through. And it tells me, what that told me was really that the sport of bare knuckle is totally evolving. BKFC is really, really growing, and I was really happy about that moment. But I'm even happier that everybody really wants to fight for BKFC. And it's not just because we're paying good money to some of these guys. It's because they see that this is a really, good camaraderie around here, and people like being a part of this team, a part of this family. So
speaking of evolving, obviously 2023, very, very close now, and it's a whole nother year, and I know you want to top everything. You talk about doing 60 events. I'm sure that number could even grow at this point. What can we expect in 2023? What do you want to happen here with BKFC?
I mean, I think the big deal would be for us to get a TV deal. We're talking about some really big partnerships right now. As you saw, Shaq was at the event on 12/3 at the Hard Rock, and we're continuing those conversations. Hopefully get Shaq on board in early 2023, which I think is going to open up a lot of doors for us. But the big thing for BKFC would be to get a television deal, which we're negotiating with a couple major networks at this time. And I think once we are able to ink that kind of deal, this sport just completely blows up.
Well, what a year it was, and congratulations on your award. Truly deserved. Wildest moment of the year. You beat Ty Emery. That really says a lot. That really says a lot. So I don't know if we're going to see that in 2023, you back running inside of the ring. Hopefully we won't. But thank you so much, David. Thank you for your time, and I can't wait for 2023.
Thank you, Cyrus. I can't either. I think 2023 is going to be an absolutely epic year for the sport of bare knuckle, like I said, but for what we're going to do with BKFC, it's going to be just really, really incredible.
In what was the biggest year in BKFC history, that meant we had some incredible fight cards from beginning to end of 2022. Going to all kinds of new locations, going to Denver, Colorado, going all the way across the pond, going to the UK and Wembley Arena, and then, of course, our great shows that we had in Thailand as well. What a year it was, and now we're celebrating the best fight cards that went down in 2022. Here are your nominees for BKFC 2022 Event of the Year.
The nominees for Event of the Year are BKFC 34, Hollywood, BKFC's London debut, BKFC's Albuquerque debut, Knuckle Mania 2, Thailand 3, Bangkok.
And as we get ready to announce the winner for Event of the Year, we bring Sean Wheelock back in here. And Sean, we talked about this, going all over the U.S., going across the pond, all around the world here with BKFC. These fight cards have been incredible, all the way from the first one all the way to the last one just a few weeks ago.
Cyrus, bigger cities, bigger venues, sold-out crowds. That's been the theme. 23 total events worldwide for BKFC in 2022.
And the funny thing is, it doesn't matter if it's in Great Falls, Montana, or if it's in London, England. The fighters always come to fight here in BKFC, and sometimes you don't expect a fight card to deliver, and they kind of blow you away.
Every fight card delivers. We always have finishes. Again, the philosophy here is we don't have A-side versus B-side. These are competitive fights. These are fast fights, a higher rate of finish than you will see in any other combat sport. And yes, whether we're in Montana or whether we're in Thailand, the crowds respond.
Well, let's go ahead and announce the winner. The 2022 Event of the Year is Well, it was just a few weeks ago, BKFC 34, how fitting, Hollywood, Florida, at the Hard Rock. You know, we talked earlier with David Feldman. We talked about how important that show was because it was a lot of homegrown talent.
So many Florida fighters, more specifically, so many South Florida fighters, many of whom weren't stars outside of bare knuckle, but they are absolutely stars now in bare knuckle in our promotion, BKFC. 13 fights on this card. We culminated with 2 world title fights, a sold-out crowd at one of our home bases, Hard Rock Live in Hollywood, Florida.
Well, and not only was it 2 world title fights, but they were incredible fights, to say the least. Ricky and Mundell, the way Mundell ended that, takes the title, and then Shof and Palomino. We have not seen damage like that on Palomino, I don't think, ever. Of course, it stops with the cut for good reason. That being said, what an incredible co-main and main event that just kind of cinched it up for that event.
The energy was amazing. Shaquille O'Neal was there, multiple fighters, active roster fighters from the UFC, boxers, professional wrestlers, and yes, it culminated with Luis Palomino, a Peruvian who is now an adopted Floridian, continuing his dominance, and undefeated double champion in BKFC.
So there it is, your event of the year. Thanks, Sean, once again, as we keep rolling here on our year in review. Well, it should come as no surprise that here at BKFC, we see our share of finishes. In fact, we have the most finishes per event than any combat sport. So how about we get down to the good stuff? Let's get to the knockouts, the moments that take you out of your seat and make you lose your mind. Here's your nominees for 2022 BKFC Knockout of the Year.
Your nominees for Knockout of the Year are Alan Belcher knocks out Frank Tate. Lorenzo Hunt knocks out Joe Riggs. Frank Tate knocks out Joey Beltran. Dave Mondell knocks out Francesco Ricci. Ben Rothwell knocks out Bobo O'Bannon.
And your 2022 Knockout of the Year goes to Alan Belcher over Frank Tate at BKFC Jackson 2. Congratulations, Alan. You picked up a huge knockout, and now you have Knockout of the Year.
You know, you're in there, you just throw punches. You're just trying to knock them out, and sometimes it just happens in a way better way than you ever expected. It was cool.
Well, you know,
Props
ever
to
since
Frank Tate, because I couldn't have got this award without Frank Tate. So thank you, sir.
100%, man. And ever since you've been here in the company, you know, obviously you're making a huge impact. Just talk about being a part of BKFC. Obviously, man, you're flourishing in the company. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. I like it. You know, I first came to BKFC because I saw that was my way of getting back into fighting and sport. And honestly, I was just using BKFC as like, you know, as a stepping stone or something, you know, in a way. And I grew, and I really immersed myself into the boxing culture and the science. And that led me to the bare knuckle science. And, you know, I just took the sport and just started trying to, you know, figure out how to be the best at it, and kind of fell in love with BKFC. I love what they're doing. I feel like I'm making the company a lot of money by being a badass, and I'm just going to keep continuing to do that. So, and then, you know, eventually we all get rich and famous.
And I know we can't wait to see what you bring in 2023. Looking forward to a championship bout. And Alan, man, just congratulations on getting Knockout of the Year, man. It was an impressive highlight, and we can't wait to see what you got next for us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Welcome to the new BKFC app. Watch every live bare knuckle fighting championship pay-per-view event for only $4.99 per month. Enjoy our all-new library of content, including behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare knuckle fights from around the globe. Knuckle up with the new BKFC app. Still only $4.99 a month.
Here at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, we take a lot of pride in the athletes that we sign and breaking ground in new states, but really what it comes down to are the fights that happen inside of the squared circle. So as we get ready to announce our nominees and our winner of 2022's Fight of the Year, once again we bring in you, Mr. Sean Wheelock, such an integral part of everything we do here at the BKFC. And when you take a look at 2022, this was the biggest year. This was the most events that we've ever done, and the biggest signings, the biggest impact, signing the children. There's a million things that happened this year. Just kind of hit on some of that.
From Bulacau to Ben Rothwell, 23 events, our biggest year in 5 years now in this modern revival of the great sport of bare knuckle fighting. We've had events in Asia. We've had events now in Europe. We've had events in the United States. We continue to grow. Something that I love about BKFC, and this has been our ethos since the beginning, is that we bring fighters from boxing, from MMA, Letway, Muay Thai, kickboxing. We put them in this new combat sport and we let them figure it out.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Sean, I think there's no mistake about it. We have the most exciting product, period, in combat sports right now. When you look up and down the landscape, and you and I both appreciate all combat sports, what you get from that 5 2-minute round aspect, what you see inside the squared circle is like nothing else.
Cyrus, fully agreed. And the matchmaking is so great. So I think about my favorite fights in 2022. They don't have to be big-name fighters. You go to Wichita, Kansas, Kenny Lisea versus Noah Cutter. Two fighters from MMA and BKFC, not well known. An amazing fight, multiple knockdowns, won by Kenny Lisea and come from behind fashion. Then you have two absolute superstars in combat sports at the famed Wembley Arena in London this past August. Michael Perry in our second overtime round ever, defeating Michael Venom Page. That is BKFC. Great matchmaking, great fights, no A-side, B-side. Everything is always put together. Let the fighters settle it in the squared circle.
Well, you mentioned a couple of fights there, so I think that's a perfect segue. Let's get right into it. Here are your nominees for 2022 BKFC Fight of the Year.
The nominees for Fight of the Year are Luis Palomino versus Tom Schoaf. Mike Perry versus Michael Venom Page. Reggie Barnett Jr. versus Gian Herrera. Louis Lopez versus Dylan Schultz. Zach Calamus versus Juan Torres.
And your winner for 2022 BKFC Fight of the Year goes to Mike Perry, Michael Venom Page from BKFC 27 in London. And we're standing by right now with the man, Platinum Mike Perry. Congratulations, man. You guys just picked up Fight of the Year.
Yeah, let's go. All right, man. Some good news. I'm happy to hear it. Thank you.
100%. Let's talk about this fight, man. The buildup was amazing. Just talk about how you felt when you heard that matchup was going to happen, going against MVP, obviously one of the biggest names in MMA, doing incredible things on mixed martial arts. When you knew we were going to make that happen in London, how were you feeling?
Man, lately I've just been in this mindset. I'm prepared to fight, to battle, and it was really great. I mean, it takes two to tango, man, and you know, MVP definitely showed up, and we put on a great fight for the fans. And, you know, I really found myself in that ring in BKFC, you know, bare knuckle, no gloves, boxing against, you know, tough opponents. And it's been great, everything.
You know, obviously your debut was one of the biggest in the company. It happened earlier this year, and then since then you pick up the pace. I mean, it's a pretty incredible year that you've put together here in BKFC. You say that this is your new home. I'm kind of curious, what do you feel like the future holds for you here at BKFC in 2023?
Man, next year is our Jordan year, 23. Everybody's got to ball out next year, and I just, who knows where it goes. I mean, things have kind of, for me, I think capped off the year very nicely, very chill. I had 2 fights this year. Didn't have to try to rush to squeeze in a 3rd fight before the end of the year. But, next year, maybe I fight 4 times. Who knows? If I get them in early and keep it going, stay hot, stay sharp, and, anything can happen. So, platinum going to skyrocket.
For you, is it more important for you to have that belt around your waist, to pick up a belt here in BKFC? Is it more important to you to have these big blockbuster matchups? What do you want in 2023? Are there names that you envision right now that you think you can make happen here in BKFC in the new year?
Yeah, definitely the belt is on my radar. And that's why I made my own belt too, and I went and I defended it in London. So I might be defending that belt again here shortly, and then at the beginning of the year or so, and then we should be talking about title contention, and we'll see where that goes.
I'm going to ask you just one more thing. Obviously, winning the fight of the year, going to war like you did with MVP, going to sudden death, pulling out the victory. That was special. This has been a great year for you. Who are the people that make it happen for you? Who do you want to thank for kind of getting you to this position and picking up this award?
Definitely, man. David Feldman, Dave Cranston, excuse me, BKFC, Sean Wheelock, he's out there. He's doing pretty good. I'd like to thank you, man. You're pretty good at
Thanks,
announcer, bro. And the ring announcer made me sound good. The combat sports superstar, definitely.
Shout out to Jeff Houston.
First round management. I want to thank first round management, Abe Kawa, Malky Kawa. Man, it's been a great year, and we just getting started. I mean, I guess it's Christmas time, but I did fight y'all's champion before. I didn't fight the last one, Frank, but damn, he got laid out. That was pretty funny. And I fought David before, Dave Mundell, but it's been a long time since then, and props to Dave for becoming a BKFC champion. And platinum is up there on top, man.
Well, congratulations one more time, Mike. We can't wait to see what you got in store for us in 2023.
Thank you, fellas.
The big moments, the knockouts, the comebacks, and the debuts are nothing without the baddest athletes on the planet that all make it happen. Over these 23 events, we've seen fighters capture titles for the first time, defend their titles, and turn the promotion upside down with their success. It's now time to learn our male and female fighters of the year. We'll start with the female fighters, the fighters that continually steal the show, that are almost fight of the night candidates before they even step into the squared circle. They leave their heart, they leave their emotion inside of the ring. Let's take a look at our nominees for 2022 BKFC Female Fighter of the Year.
The nominees for Female Fighter of the Year are Christine Wiesens, Britton Hart, Christine the Misfit Faria, Fanny Palupi.
I wanted to be the first to tell you and let you know right now that you are our 2022 Female Fighter of the Year. Congratulations.
Man, thank you. I'm super excited. I didn't expect that at all.
Well, so it's a massive moment, obviously. So it's big. You obviously had major moments this year, 2 big title defenses, dominating title defenses. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What does it mean to be named the Female Fighter of the Year?
I made my year, made my day, you know. So, wow, it just all the hard work, dedication, you know, paying off. You know, all the sacrifice and patience and stuff in between the fights and waiting for people to step up, you know, it's paying off. I'm super grateful and I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I put my whole heart and soul into this and sacrificed everything and you know, miss out on a lot in regular life just to be the best right now. So I'm super excited.
Well, not only, you know, did you have these fights and you obviously went in there and did the job, but there was a lot more of emotion with both of those fights. There was a lot of talk with both of those fights. Yeah. You had to kind of navigate that. You always seem to stay pretty cool in the situation and obviously let your fighting do the talking. But just talk about how both of those fights with Britton Hart and Taylor Starling had a little bit of personal aggression going on there. It's crazy.
Yeah, so for the Britton Hart fight, you know, it got a little personal and we were previously friends and then stuff got messed up. You know, we're both very competitive and we both want to be the best in the world. So I think, especially during our career, we're just going head to head and we want to be the best in BKFC. We're fighting to our best just to be #1 in BKFC. It's the best promotion in the world. So we want to be the top dog in it. So I just think me and her we can't get along because we're just right there with each other, and our competitiveness is just it's just the same. It's not mine's not right here, hers not right here. We're just the same. We're just gonna keep going at it. I'm trying to go down to 115 so I can take it from her. But you know, I want to be the best in the world while I'm here. I have a few more years left, and I want to be able to make a record to be able to show that nobody can beat that and nobody can catch up with that. And I want to be the example and eventually be a coach for bare knuckle and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing. And with Taylor Starling, she's a youngster. She's telling me I'm old, telling me all this, that I'm not, that she's going to whip my ass. She's going to knock me out. And I just had to prove to the youngster that, you know, experience always wins. And, that's what happened that day.
Well, listen, obviously picking up an award like this is a big deal, and getting to the level that you're at is a huge deal, but there's always people that help you get there. Is there anybody you want to thank for this award?
Jason Ferguson, Jules Gray, Condemned, Labs. There's so many people that help me. Just BKFC staff helping me, you know, rise up in the promotion and giving me opportunity. My family, my friends, Barber Orthopedic. I just want to thank everybody for carrying me through, and KP Painting. They've stuck by me a lot as well. And there's a lot more people out there, but I'll be shouting you out on my social media.
Well, congratulations once again. Great achievement. And maybe we'll see you again next year, same time, same place. Maybe you're getting 2023.
The world's most exciting combat sport, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship debuts in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Friday, January 27th. Be a part of history. Info and tickets at BKFCapp.com.
This year we had big names that graced the squared circle for the first time. Names like Perry and Page and Dodson and Rothwell, Buakaw, all stepping into the squared circle. But what about those workhorses? What about those BKFC fighters that continuously are winning, having the best years of their career? Now let's take a look at the 2022 BKFC Male Fighter of the Year.
The nominees for Male Fighter of the Year: Dave Redneck Mundell, Luis Baboon Palomino, Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt, Platinum Mike Perry, Mike the Marine Richmond.
And your winner for 2022 BKFC Male Fighter of the Year is the one and only champ, Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt. And we are standing by with Lorenzo right now. Congratulations, champ. You just picked up Male Fighter of the Year.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It wasn't an easy task, but, you know, me and my team, my father, Elvin Brito, the whole Puerto Rico squad. We put in the work, man, and the results speak for themselves.
Well, you know, obviously picking up wins over Joe Riggs, getting the win over Quentin Henry in Louisiana, big W's. And not only were you getting wins, but you were winning with authority and obviously big moments all throughout the year. It seems like every event you were there, lurking around, showing off those titles, letting everybody know that the champ is there. Just talk about this year, man. This was a pretty special year, picking up 2 big wins here at the BKFC.
Yeah, so I go back to the beginning. I would have liked to pick up 3. I would have actually liked to fight for that heavyweight title. I had picked it like for December, but things kind of like got drawn out. This year, I would have liked to go 3-0 this year and wind up with 3 titles. But this year was awesome. After the Hector Lombard win November of last year and a solid year last year, then to go into this year and be 2-0, 2 title defenses, 2 main events. Against all odds. I mean, it's just worked out perfect for me. I am everything that I told the people I was, and everybody's learning I'm the champ for a reason.
Well, listen, you know, now with 2 championships at the top of 2 weight classes, obviously a massive target on your back. Mike Richmond has said he would like to tangle with you. Obviously, a lot of people would like to see that happen. Everybody wants a piece of you. You want a piece of that heavyweight title. What's 2023 going to be like for Lorenzo Hunt?
2023 is going to be more mayhem and more destruction. I am the juggernaut. I will keep going forward. And once I have the momentum, as you can see, I will not stop. The people who are screaming out my name, like I said, it's so nice to finally have my food brought to me. That's all being the champ means. I do not have to chase these guys down. They're going to jump in there and willingly sacrifice themselves just to be a part of the show.
Well, one more time, just want to congratulate you on this honor. Awesome, amazing. We can't wait to see what you have for us in the new year, champ.
Double champ, triple champ, quadruple champ. I'm the best in the world, and I'm going to show you all.
No doubt about it. As 2022 comes to a close, there's certainly a lot to celebrate here with this promotion. The bar has been raised again, and in 2023, we are looking to defy the odds all over again. Big thank you to all the nominees and the winners, to David Feldman, Deshaun Willock, and the incredible staff that make it all happen. I'm Cyrus Fees, and we'll see you in 2023.